Let's go. Hey, man, listen, y'all. Welcome to the Rise and Rise Academy. Yes, this is your boy Cobe Rise and Rise. We back at it again with a banger. You dig? Hey, man, shout out to everybody that came on and came through. You did, because guess what? We about to go hard. Let me go ahead and share this out, man, because you know how we do. We're going to make sure everybody's joining in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How was y'all's day? How's everybody feeling today? Man, let me share this out real quick, man. What's up? Yeah. So, today is July the 12th. You feel what I'm saying? The 30-day challenge back in June is complete. The winner was Bree. You know, I got her the gifts. You dig what I'm saying? So shout out to Bree for reaching her goals, man. The before and after pictures was crazy, y'all. And honestly, shout out to everybody who joined in on that challenge, man. It was a great turnout. It was a huge turnout. I actually appreciated everybody for rocking through. You dig? Showtime, he'll be in a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? So you know how we do it. We're gonna just, kick it off. You dig? About to kick it off and start rolling. So as you can see, oh, wait a minute, before we do that, let me pay some bills real quick. Shout out to True Eye Clarity. You dig what I'm saying? I know y'all feeling that hat. You feel me? So if y'all rocking with the vibes of True Eye Clarity, you know what I'm saying? We got hats, you dig? We got shirts, you feel me? We got athletic wear, you dig? We got joggers, we have shorts, you feel me? We have everything possible. You know what I'm saying? Go to truehighclarity.com. Let me say this again. Make sure y'all go to truehighclarity.com. Go get your threads if you want to be fresh. You dig? You want to be fly, and you want to live your life true, high with clarity. You dig? Go get you some True High Clarity, man. Shout out to them boys out there, man. So another thing too, we do have the Fitness CMOS. So again, the Fitness CMOS gel is out. If you need your Fitness CMOS gel, reach out to your boy. You dig? We partner with Queen City Organics. So we want to make sure we're pushing out optimal health in the city of Charlotte. You feel me? So the Fitness CMOS, it is Caribbean CMOS. And I actually did a video about this on my YouTube. I taught the difference of Irish CMOS and Caribbean CMOS, the difference of the benefits, the difference of the way it looks, the difference of the I was gonna say fabric. I'm thinking about clothes. You dig what I'm saying? The difference of the texture of the CMOS. All of those things play a role into the benefits of the CMOS. You dig? And what you also mix it with, what you clean it with, all of these factors go into the benefit or the non-benefit of the CMOS. You dig what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody that's on the CMOS crave. You feel me? It's the raspberry rafa. That's the name of the flavor, the raspberry rafa. You dig? Your boy picked the flavors out yourself. You dig? So yeah, make sure y'all go tap in on my IG, tap in on my Facebook, Rise and Rise Academy. The IG is King Alajuwan 21. Let me go ahead and make sure y'all got that down packed. You know what I'm saying? Check the ticker below as you can see where we at. You dig? So yeah, man. So how was y'all's day? So I just want to let y'all know how my day was. My day was extremely excited, man. I figured out I solved a lot of issues. You feel me, today. So I pat myself on the back for that, because I love to solve people's problems, and number one, I get paid to do that. Number two, that's just something I like to do. You feel me? So if I can figure out a better way to help somebody, I'm gonna make sure I do that. So yeah, my mood's starting off really great. I do have a show coming up. My show is going to be starting July the 22nd. July 22nd. That is my show. That is the beginning of the show. So yeah, this is going to be in Winston-Salem. This is the Jack King's OCB Physique show. Yes, that's where your boy will be attending. You dig? So if you guys want to come out and show support, it's July 22nd. The show begins at 10 o'clock in the morning in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You just Google Jack King's OCB bodybuilding show. So obviously my classification is going to be physique. So yeah, hold on 1 second. Actually, I think I froze up a little bit. Okay, here we go. All right, I think I'm back, y'all. All right, so yeah, let's get it started, man. So as y'all can see, the title You feel me? The title of today's stream. Yes. Let's get to it. We are talking about labels, plant-based labels, labeling of plant-based, right? So I just wanted to share an article with you guys so you can see what I am referring to. Give me 1 second. So if you notice something, sometimes when you go out and purchase things, you'll see something like, oh, um, we have this is a plant-based source, right? Or this is a, this is made vegan, right? This is vegetarian, or this is raw, this is organic, this is GMO. There's a lot of different qualities that come with these words and these labels. You feel me? And so I just wanted to give some clarity on that. You dig? So just give me a second. I'm actually going to go live here on IG. So let me see here. I'm gonna post this up because I actually had a few questions that I needed to answer anyway. You feel me? So yeah, we want to make sure we do that. We'll make sure we do that right there. Yeah, man, this is gonna be a banger. So for everybody that's wanted to pay attention, you feel me? All right, so we're labeling. All right, so yeah, I know everybody is curious about this whole craze, right? All right, perfect. So we're getting everything set up. All right, now I will show you guys a report when it comes to plant-based versus vegan report, right? Because apparently there's a difference in the term. So the difference in the terms, just to give you guys a base generality of what that means. Let me just include Showtime real quick. He just hopped in. What's going on, my brother?
Peace, my brother. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling blessed, highly favored. You dig what I'm saying? We're just getting it started. I
Yeah.
was just actually about to pull up the post, man. So you actually joined in just in time.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
So what
I'm
we're
listening.
gonna start with. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I was just saying I'm listening. I'm gonna share it out with the Showtime Training Group family so they can get this good
Facts.
knowledge too.
Yes, facts, man. Welcome Showtime, man. You dig what I'm saying? So we about to get it going. And just the generality, right? The differences, and this is just an article that I want to share. Some people really don't know the difference between plant-based and veganism. So, long story short, we know what vegan is, and if you don't know, all that means is you don't eat meat, you don't, and this is including dairy as well. And it's also a lifestyle, right? So you don't participate in the harm of animals, right? Or consume anything that's coming from an animal derived or deriving from an animal, like milk, for example, eggs, for example, right? Because milk comes from a cow, eggs it comes from a chicken. You feel me? So these are things that derive from animal products, and that is something veganism is not a part of, right? And so plant-based is, long story short, similar to the food partake, but they don't necessarily participate in the ethics of the the veganism lifestyle, versus like they're not taking anything away from an animal, like they're not wearing animal clothes. But plant-based doesn't necessarily participate in that. They just more so focus on the food industry part of it, the diet, what you digest, right? So that's just a base generality. Now, I'm gonna pull this article up real quick just to give a report, and this is something that was done through here. I'll just actually share it out real quick so you can see it. Give me 1 second. All right, so perfect. I know y'all can see that. Now, um, these are modern definitions of plant-based, and this is coming from um, the Vegan Society, right? So plant-based is a deeply confusing phrase due to its ambiguity and contested meaning, right? So as you guys can see, there's different phrases. So, although the phrase is now often used with vegetarian or vegan, it's also increasingly used in contexts in which people are trying to reduce the amount of meat and other animal products in their diet, rather than eliminate them entirely. So apparently that's from the Oxford English Dictionary, right?
Mhm.
And I know it's a fairly new term, right? But this is just something that's deriving from the vegan society. I just wanted to give you guys a visual, right? So you can see these things, right? And another one from Merriam-Webster is it's a subsequent decades plant-based has come to be employed in a looser fashion by many people. In many instances, it can be difficult to say why speakers choose to distinguish between vegan and plant-based. Possible reasons include a perceived animus toward vegans or the desire to be semantically precise, right? So let me just stop sharing that real quick. All right, so that's just this one of the takes of it. So long story short, it can be a little confusing on these terms. Another thing that brought more light to the whole plant-based versus vegan, and these labels, right? Because you see a lot of times vegan soap, right? And so it begins, we begin to question, because most of us know what vegan is. Most of us know that, okay, it's pretty much, natural, no animal products at all, right? So if you have to say the word vegan soap, then that would common sensely say, well, there's obviously soap in there that contains animal content, right? And it's interesting because most people think, if you say vegan something, that means it's food. That means it's something you can eat. And so it's just understanding what these terms mean. And so veganism is not just about food. It's about um, your lifestyle, the ethics of deriving from these animals, right? So and that's just the difference between vegan and the whole plant-based thing. So, and what we have other terms that we're going to discuss later, but I'll just give my take on on the whole plant-based thing versus the veganism thing, and so I'll let you take after that as well. But um me personally, of course, we all know I promote a mostly plant-based diet. And so for me, what that means is um, you're eating mostly vegetables, you're eating mostly grains, things that are coming from the plants, the ground, the earth. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right? And I say mostly plant-based diet because my personal cheat meals is I'll eat seafood, right? And so that's what I personally do, and so that's why I say mostly plant-based. And I don't consider vegan because and there's multiple reasons for it, but one, I like to fish. And so you can't really fish as a vegan because, if you put in the hook, onto the worm, and then you're hooking the fish, taking them out the water, even though, we're not keeping the fish all the time, but we're throwing it back, it's still part suffering. So, and what veganism is, they don't participate in animal suffering, right? Even though it's for a little bit with fish, even though I catch it, hey, may take a picture with it, put it back. That's something that is against, what is veganism. And so, I'm a country boy, so I was raised on fishing, right? I mean, we did it as a hobby, to be honest with you, right? So I can't really consider myself that because of the code of ethics, right? I personally don't see anything wrong with fishing, but they do. So I can't really consider myself a vegan in that light. So that's my personal take on just those two terms alone, right? So yeah, Showtime, I'll let you chime in.
I've been sitting over here waiting, man. You see me over here.
I already know. I see you. I'm rubbing
Oh
your head. I said, oh yeah, he about ready to blow it up. You dig?
yeah, oh yeah. But I'm gonna keep it in stages, man. Y'all know me. Y'all know I like to give the game. I like to talk, and I like to give it all. I like to come full when I get to going. So I'm gonna start off by saying this. I look at the vegan and plant-based, the terminology, the same way I look at religion. Okay, so watch me, come with me on this reference. So I feel like it is a place, it is important to differentiate, to divide us between Christians, Muslims, Episcopalian, just the different religions, Seventh Day Adventists, atheists. Though I feel like it is, there it has its place, because we're able to grow in our faith. Whatever we decide to believe in, we're able to grow in our faith. But my big thing is, it's a man-made divide, So a lot of times we get really tied up into the terms, and it distances us from the God that we, all I'm a Christian because, I'm just trying to find the faith that brings me closer to God, and I'm gonna get on to the topic. I know people like, yo, where's he talking about God? So, but it's just a man-made divide, religion is man-made. Religion isn't something that God didn't say, okay, well, you go over there and you're Christian, you go over there and you're Muslim, so for the most part, I always say, don't get too tied up into the terms. Okay, so now I'm gonna get to the plant-based and the vegan because I love this, man. When I first started, man, they used to give me crap, man. Like you said, man, I was plant-based when I first got in there. I was doing pretty good, but as I grew, I started realizing, okay, man, I want to do this for health. So like you said, man, I love fish. I started, just really doing my due diligence, understanding what different foods did for the body. Okay. So I'm going to go back to that reference. Like I said, again, man, for the most part, like you see, man, these are newer terms. These are newer terminology. What I don't want us to get is too confused with plant-based, vegan, pescatarian. We're so involved in the terms. What are we doing it for? Okay, so that's what I challenge you to understand. What are you doing it for? Yes, from my understanding, the vegans they really go hard, with the whole spectrum. I think a lot of the vegans are connected with the animal rights, the PETAs. They're no fur, no leather, that those people, they pride themselves in really being, vegan. I think when you say vegan, a lot of people that I know that are 100% vegan and really stick by it, generally have a really strong heart and passion for animals. They have a strong heart and passion for, the way things are treated. Me personally, no disrespect, but mine is not fueled more on, I may still wear a leather. I don't have that level of understanding yet, that level of compassion yet when it comes to, okay, well, I can't wear this, I can't wear that. My understanding of going plant-based was just simply for health reasons. Okay, so again, I know I gave you a lot, but for the most part, I was just giving different scenarios. In religion, we do this too. We get all caught up on the terms. I rather you pick. I don't care what you pick, how you term it. I just need you to get it, and understand why you're getting it. If you want to be vegan, understand. Okay, well, from my knowledge and the information, I think me and your information is similar, and it's coming from an animal rights perspective. It's coming from a, no fish, no dairy products. That means no eggs. That means no, a lot of things, no cheese. They're really stern and strict about, how animals are treated, and just different products. Now, plant-based, I feel like that was a term that I adapted to because for the most part, like me and you, Cobe, alike, we got the Rise and Rise pyramid where we just understand that primarily plant-based foods will help you in the long run. We understand that. Okay, so not only is technology moving so fast, we got the artificial intelligence, we got the chat GPTs, but we're now cloning meats. We're now just trying to figure out how we can make more, how we can make more money, how we can make more foods, and it may not be the best for us internally. And I know I gave a lot, but I'm gonna sum it up. I'm gonna sum it up with this. Don't get too caught up on the terminology. Like I said, religion, a lot of times we get too, oh man, he's a Muslim. I can't talk to him. He's a Christian. I can't talk to him, man. I just really want you to serve a God, man. Like I don't want you to be lawless out here in the streets hurting people because you don't believe in nothing. So whatever you decide to believe in, man, please just be peaceful for us, us believers. The same thing with your food. Don't get too caught up in, oh man, I want to be a vegan, but I got a dog, or I want to be a plant-based, but look, we in it for the health game. If you like, if you have compassion for animals, get a little bit more understanding of, what's going on when you say vegan, when you use those terms, but don't get too caught up on the terms.
That's a fact, man. You definitely broke it down too, because like I really wanted to touch on that anyway. What you were saying, because they look at, like, we'll take the word vegan for example. They know that as more strict, right? And so some people use plant based because they don't want to consume themselves as more of a strict, right? And when we think of religion, a lot of us think of strict. They think of it's laws. This is what it is. This is what it's gonna be, right? There's no gray area, right? It's this is what the book say. We do this by the book, and that's how they look at. Well, I ain't gonna say they. I'm gonna say a lot of people they do that, and this has been surveyed too. So in in marketing, they look at how to market things, right? And so when you look at the marketing of this is meatless or vegan or vegetarian, it's it's less perceived, right? So they don't like it as much. Let's just say that. But and the reason for it is because they just deem it as just is so strict they can't follow, right? They want some wiggle room. So they have they use the word plant based, and there was a higher percentage of likelihood that they would invest toward that because to the average person they can't really define what plant based is, right? They just know, oh, they can eat meat. So that word can gives them the option to go back and forth. So most people can identify with that, right? And so they know, oh, that could be a marketing scheme. That means more people will look at that and say, oh, I identify with this. This is what I identify with most of. And I think you touched on a huge topic that we can even cover at a different time where you have a lot more people who aren't as religious anymore, but they're more spiritual, right? So you hear that term a lot because they don't really want to conform to, something that is like religion, like a Muslim. There's strict rules, right? Real Christianity, like Christianity, there's strict rules, right? There's things you can and cannot do. And most people don't want to do that because they want to do what they want to do on their own terms, right? And so we know that religion doesn't allow that to happen, right? And so and that's why you see people say, well, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. And I know that's a whole nother topic. I don't want to get too deep, right? But yeah, you're exactly right. And that's where I start to look at how people are getting tricked. So when they see words like, oh, we have this plant-based t-shirt company, or we have a plant-based laundry detergent, right? It now starts you're starting to appeal more to a different masses because we want to be identified with as something that's natural, something that's clean, and like you said, something that we can identify with. And so I don't want people to get caught up in these terms, like just like Showtime was saying, stick to what it is that you identify with personally, right? I don't necessarily have an issue with no one choosing whether they want to eat meat, no eat meat. You want to choose something that's going to sit well with you and that's going to propel you to where you want to go in your own terms. Meaning, if this is going to help you succeed or exceed in life, then you need to do or go down the path of where you're going to see the best benefit, right? And that's what and I think that it's good to have these words like meatless or vegan or plant-based, but it gives you some type of foundation. It gives you something to start with and can veer off from there. Because I remember when I didn't really start off necessarily as plant-based. I was eating whatever I wanted to when I grew up because that's just how I was raised, right? Just like most of us. And then as I got older, I just personally wanted to do something different because I just felt myself eating chicken every day and I was just getting bored, right? That was a personal decision that I decided to make. But the foundation was, well, what else is out there? So there are other additives out there as far as a foundation goes that I started with, right? Started with vegetarian. I did it for a while, didn't like it, transition, right? And that's the transitional stage. Everybody goes through that. It's just like life. You go through a transition stage. You grow up thinking you want to be a fireman, and next thing you know, you end up being a preacher. You know what I'm saying? You just these are transitions, right? You transition over into that, right? And these are not bad things. All these are signs of growth. So I had to grow from eating one way to transition to vegetarian. I didn't like that. Went to vegan. It was okay. Then I moved up to alkaline plant based. Saw a lot more benefit. So I'm leaning towards something that I'm seeing more of a fit because now I'm starting to see changes that I actually like. Number one. Number two is propelling me to be a better person. Right. So now that's where I start to fall in line. But not only that, there's other people that saw benefit too. Right. And so that's where I want to make sure that people understand, as long as you have a foundation. Rise and Rise Academy, we're giving a foundation with the Rise and Rise Food Pyramid. It's a pyramid that everybody can follow because it has everything that everybody eats, for the one. But number two, it's a guideline toward something that's more of that's going to help us all, because most of us are low in energy. Most of us, excuse me, are low in vitamin D and all these different vitamins, right? It's because we're eating foods that's not giving us the nutrients, right? All the foods that we're eating is causing us stress because it's convenient. It costs $3-4. You can get it from a convenience store, and it can fill you up temporarily, but it's not really giving you the nutrients like our bodies actually need. So the food pyramid is there to and is designed for you to at least get the nutrients that you need. Most alkaline veggies and grains has the nutrients that your body needs. Eating fruits with seeds in it. These are whole fruits, whole foods, right? Things like the brown rice, the wild rice, the grapes with seeds in it, cherries with seeds in it, right? Watermelon with seeds in it. These are giving you the nutrients, right? And that's the next biggest thing on the list. So you should be eating these mostly on your plate. And so that's why I'm giving you the foundation for it. So you're not tricked. You're not even worried about these other terms because you have a foundation. You now can see, oh, even though this says, vegan, whatever, you look at the back of it, there's all kinds of sorts of chemicals and all this that really doesn't necessarily align with the food pyramid foundation. So now you have something to go off of. So at least okay, well, if it's a mostly plant-based source, it's a little bit of chemicals. I know I could probably eat this, but I know I'm not going to continue to eat this every single time. I'm mostly going to be eating whole foods, right? So we now know this is going to, number one, lessen your chances of getting sick, lessen your chances of eating something that you really don't know how to pronounce. Because if you read the back of those labels, it's a lot of words, big words that you may not necessarily know of. But all that's eliminated with a mostly whole food plant-based diet, because it's coming. You don't have to read the back of a watermelon label because there is no label. We know what a watermelon is, right? So that's what eliminates the confusion. Because like you said, I read the topic, I read the PDF. It said a lot of people are just confused. So they don't know. So they are, what's the word? They're leaning on other people to pretty much make the decision for them, right? So if I'm going to make a decision for you, I'm going to lean towards something that's going to elevate you, number one. Number two, bring you back to a health source. And that is what God put here for everybody else. And that's the fruits here, the good water here, the less chemicals we have. That's what's going to push you into that elevated state. And so for me, that's what I don't want you guys to get tricked. I want to open your eyes to other things, but of course, do your research, obviously, so that way you can prepare yourself into a better life.
Definitely. Definitely. I love it. I love it. And I was just thinking too, man, for for those of us that are a little bit more mature in the fitness game, we understand how to differentiate some of those terms. I just feel like with everything out here, we're the generation, we love to label everything. Everything we're given a label, everything we're given a holiday. You see how they got Brothers Day? It's National Brothers Day. It's National Cousins Day. It's National Daughters Day. And I love it. I love it. But like you said, man, you can't get confused. You can't get confused with so many options out there. My big thing is that you pick one. Okay. So that's something that I'm doing on another level. It's just really dialing down into what works for me. Like I said, I'm like you too. Maybe not in the fitness. I have a pretty good grab on myself when it comes to the fitness field, but other areas in life, especially my calling, it's so much out here. We can get distracted. So many terms for this, a term for that, So like I said, man, I always like to give us other examples because it all comes right back down to this health. It can be related to everything, every area in life. We always give you some game as it relates to every area, that health, finances, family. We speak about everything on the Rise and Rise platform.
Yes.
So my big thing is, just make sure you pick one. Pick one. If you start slow too, and I do is I don't allow nobody to bully me into a term, because when I got into this game, when I set out to be primarily plant based, it was for me and health reasons that I knew about. It was for
Facts.
experiences that I had in my life. Yes, I seen it was trendy, man, at an all-time high. Man, I'm a New Yorker, so I love it, man. The locks. Who would have thought, man? Juice Bar, Shigalooch, Styles P, and
The
Jada
GOAT.
invested. You feel me? Investing in juice bars.
Yeah.
So I just said all that to say, man, it's you're gonna hear a lot of popular terms. You're gonna see everybody, man, everybody trying to do, trying to at least tell you that they're doing something. So I always say this, man, don't let nobody bully you into. If like Kobe said, man, if you ate a little fish, that's okay. You still trying to be primarily plant-based. You still trying to make the best health decisions for you. I see that all the time, man. People let allow them to, get bullied. Man, if you trying, man. Hey, man, we want to have the discipline to be 100% plant-based if that's your goal. But my big thing is understand why you're doing it, and don't let nobody bully you into making any health decisions. Make sure you do your due diligence. Understand the difference between a vegan, a plant-based, a pescatarian, a vegetarian. And if it helps you, don't even label it. Don't even label it, man. Just tell folks if they ask you man, I'm just trying to eat healthier. I tell people, man, I'm primarily plant-based. Real simple. Real
Simple.
simple. Primarily plant-based. Well, what you eating, man? If I'm telling you to help you, I'll definitely dial down into some of my meals in depth, if I'm telling you to help you. But if you're just trying to critique me to tell me, to pick at my discipline, or to tell me, oh no, man, you're not a vegan, you cheated, or I got a picture of you eating this, man. Well, I'm
Mhm.
not in,
They ain't even on that, Rob. They doing it because they can't do it.
you hear me? You hear me?
Yeah,
We
I
got to
already
get
know.
personal.
Yeah.
We got to get personal with those goals, man. Choose what you choose because of you, what you feel in your heart.
No, that's a fact. I was just and I actually posted something about this today. Like, and shout out to my cousin heavily, man. She spoke about the like the different like chemicals and stuff that's in like Tide and Gain and all this other stuff, right? And so, it can affect the body depending on what you wash your clothes with. And it could be something simple as that, right? You know, and if that's something that's irritating you, that's something that you want to just pay attention of. So, right. So just like Showtime said, don't let nobody bully you into, what you're doing, because what you're doing is for you. There's certain people out there that can't wear certain deodorants. There's certain people out there that can't wear certain, detergents. They can't wash their clothes with the same stuff, and that's not a bad thing. They're doing what they can to propel themselves into a better future, right? Because some people just have sensitive skin. So you have to do things differently to feed into what's going to help you succeed, right? And that could be with anything. Succeeding for you just might honestly be clearing up the little pimple on your cheek, right? And that could just be coming from, just changing your diet up and drinking your water. So if anybody's trying to pick at you and say, oh, you drinking water, you eating salad. Yeah, I knew, because, I'm cleansing myself so I can look the best that I can do, right? And so I think most people should start saying this more, because that's going to help. People gonna respect that, right? Because they say, oh, okay, word, I rock with that, right? And the people who gonna laugh about it, whatever, like, you don't even worry about them, no way, because it don't matter what you say, they gonna always have an agenda. Don't worry about nobody having an agenda over you or anybody else, right? Because the point is, we supposed to have an agenda for ourselves. Have an agenda for yourself to always climb and succeed and do the best that you can do, right? I've always drank water when I was a kid. Of course, the kids like, oh, you don't like candy, you don't like soda, ha ha ha. Man, I'm gonna tell you what I did. I gave my candy away. Of course, I went trick or treating and all that, and I had my candy, right? I like the Twix. You feel me? Like, that was my number one. You feel me? I like the candy apples when I go Halloween trick or treating. When you was a kid, and so when you go Halloween trick or treating, you get all these different candies. I said, you know what? I give them away, man. Y'all go have at it. They be like, word, you don't. And they rock them. It was like, you know what? I rock with you. I'm like, look, it's all good, because I had a standard for myself. So I always kept that standard for myself. And no matter what it is, people gonna rock with that as long as you have some sort of foundation. You dig? And then the people that's gonna be for you, they're gonna be for you. The people that's not, they don't have to. You don't have to get nobody else's approval but your own, if you're doing it for the right reasons. You dig? So yeah, I'll close it out with that, man. I think that was That was some good game on that one, dog.
Definitely, definitely. I love it. I love it. I'll just
Yes, sir.
reiterate on my last words, let's make it personal. Let's make it personal. I love to give that reference, man. Just, like you said, we'll hit it on the faith tip. It's a lot out here, but don't get too caught up on the minute details, the minor details. We get so caught up on the labels, and I love it, man. Like I said, technology, if you realize we're going to a different place, and some of it is really interesting, man. It's good, it's exciting. It's exciting to be alive. What a time to be alive, but two, I see people easily getting distracted, man, with the social media, even myself, let's not get distracted on what's truly important. Really, really dig down, dig deep. That's something I'm doing this week, man. And I'll leave you with that. Dig down, dig deep. Don't get distracted by the labels. You can be plant-based, you can be vegan, you can be like me and Cobe, man. We just tell you we primarily plant-based, you know. We just trying to eat healthier, man. For us, at the end of the day, that's it, man. My heart stopped in 2008. I'm just trying to make the best choices so I never have to be in that predicament again.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. We appreciate everybody that's popping in, man. We appreciate everybody that tuned in, and we keep supporting us, you feel me? Because we're going to make sure we keep giving y'all the good game, right? You know what I'm saying? So Rise and Rise Academy podcast, man, we about this thing. When we face with an obstacle, what we do?
We rise and rise, baby. Peace.
Yeah.